Greetings everyone, and welcome to this video about transportation challenges during Winter Storm Uri in February of 2021 in Texas. So our learning objective today, our goals are to examine severe winter weather in Texas and its impact on transportation. We're going to generate some recommendations to overcome those accompanying problems. Accordingly, this video identifies what those challenges are and what can be done better to prepare for them in the future. Well, Texas is known for its extreme heat. For much of the year, temperatures hover between 85 and 90 degrees. In July and August, temperatures are almost always over a sweltering 100 degrees in many areas. Temperatures either rarely dip below freezing or winter storms are often short-lived. Therefore, Texas does not consistently have bad weather in the wintertime. But when snow and ice storms occur, they can have severe impacts on transportation and logistics. For instance, traffic challenges were witnessed in December 2009 due to near blizzard conditions with 40 to 50 mile per hour winds. There were also major problems on the roads in February 2010 when record-breaking snow was experienced in the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. But none of the prior events compared to the winter storm which occurred in 2021 in February in Texas. Starting on Thursday, February 11, 2021, the National Weather Service issued a winter weather advisory for much of Texas due to the anticipated arrival of sleet and freezing rain. A day later, the National Weather Service provided a winter storm watch in relation to an Arctic front. Snow is expected to be associated with this storm. Forecasts projected 6 inches of snow in the northern portion of the state, for instance in the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex area. It was also anticipated that Austin would receive 3 inches of snow, and even places like Houston and Galveston were projected to see 1 inch of snow in the south. Upon learning of these forecasts, Texas Governor Greg Abbott declared a state of emergency. By Sunday, the entire state was under a winter storm warning, a wind chill watch, and a hard freeze watch. All cities were affected by the freezing temperatures, and many records were broken. Wichita Falls reached -3 degrees Fahrenheit. Dallas-Fort Worth and College Station reached 5 degrees Fahrenheit. San Antonio, 9 degrees. Houston, 13 degrees. And Galveston, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. Unfortunately, the situation continued to worsen over the next few days. More snow fell on Tuesday the 16th through Thursday the 18th. Temperatures remained below freezing in many places for several days. According to the National Weather Service, there was a total of 8 days, 23 hours, and 23 minutes of severe winter highlights between the first winter weather advisory issued on Thursday, February 11th, to when the last hard freeze warning expired at 9 a.m. on Saturday, February 20th. While these extreme conditions caused major problems for power generation and the distribution of water, there were also significant impacts on transportation and logistics as well. A whole host of transportation and logistics problems resulted from the winter weather. The weather resulted in countless small fender benders and some major pileups. First responders had difficulty driving to their calls. Fuel shortages and the condition of roads resulted in shipping delays. During the February 2021 winter storms, traffic problems occurred nonstop throughout Texas. The snow and ice accumulations made driving extremely dangerous. The snow caused hundreds of people to get stuck. It was reported by KVUE that a man named Ryan Sivley got into his four-wheel drive truck and pulled up 145 cars out that were stuck in the snow. He said, "If you were sitting on the side of the road with your wife and your kids and you're freezing in the car, I would beg and hope that somebody would come and help me, so that's what I'm doing." The loss of power to traffic and streetlights did not help the situation either. One emergency management official in the area commented that they had quite a few problems with accidents because of traffic management facilities that did not have power for extended periods of time. In Austin alone, there were at least 739 accidents over the span of just a few days, and Dallas also witnessed hundreds of traffic crashes. The accidents were so frequent that the Texas Department of Insurance recorded 17,500 personal auto claims that were associated with Winter Storm Uri. There were also larger and more notable accidents, however. On the morning of Thursday, February 11th, a major multi-vehicle accident occurred on the southbound lanes of I-35 near Northside Drive in Tarrant County. The pileup was the result of a combination of ice accumulation on the roads and excessive speed. The incident involved 135 vehicles, including several semi-trailers, in a giant wreck that stretched over 1,100 feet. 6 individuals tragically lost their lives in the crash, and another 36 were injured. 60 tow trucks were required and worked around the clock to clean up the accident scene so the highway could be reopened the following day. Because of the frequency and severity of the traffic accidents that were occurring, local and state leaders encouraged people to stay home. In some cases, the request was a moot point. Many individuals could not leave their homes even if they wanted to. Their cars would get stuck in the driveway, or as they tried to drive to work or run important errands. In response to these transportation problems, government departments and private sector contractors did what they could to plow roads. Efforts were also made to spray roads with treatment or lay down salt and sand. However, the extent of the snow and ice along with the duration of freezing temperatures made the task very difficult. Plowed roads would quickly be covered with snow again, and any melting ice would refreeze at night. Meanwhile, emergency management personnel and first responders faced additional problems. Many could not go to work to help out or could not go home to rest. The roads were impassable, or at least very dangerous in some locations. As police, fire, and EMS personnel responded to calls, they also got stuck, were involved in accidents, or slid off the roads. Even if emergency workers were able to make it to their calls, they often arrived late because of the treacherous traffic conditions. Some first responders had tire chains that helped them with traction. However, the chains frequently broke, and there were insufficient replacements to overcome this problem in the immediate term. Another major transportation problem related to fuel shortages, and this resulted from a variety of issues throughout the state which limited access to fuel. First, many gas stations were closed and could not operate due to the loss of power. Keep in mind that 69% of Texas homes and businesses lost power. It was noted that roughly 1,700 gas stations were without electricity. According to Patrick DeHaan, a petroleum analyst, this represented a 12% reduction in stations serving Texas. Secondly, the gas stations that were open ran out of fuel quickly because other suppliers were offline. If people's preferred gas station was rendered useless by the storm, they would find the nearest one that was open and purchase gas there. Demand was clearly high for those stations that were operating. Third, the replenishment of fuel at gas stations that were operational was significantly delayed because of the poor conditions of the highways and roads throughout Texas. Even if vehicles had fuel, some became inoperable because diesel would gel up due to the extremely cold temperatures. Anti-gel additives were sought, but they were quickly depleted because of the excessive demand at the time. Supply issues were also problematic during this period and for a variety of reasons. Part of this was the result of the COVID-19 pandemic, which had already brought domestic and international manufacturing and distribution to a crawl. This, in combination with the winter weather, poor road conditions, and fuel shortages, also caused shipment delays on vital products and services. For instance, it was nearly impossible or very difficult to obtain food and water for people to sustain themselves when supplies ran out at local grocery stores. Generators were in high demand along with the fuel to run them because of the loss of power to many neighborhoods and facilities. Chemicals such as nitrogen, which are required to start petrochemical plants, could not be acquired due to high demand and a crippled transportation system. In light of this dire situation, state and local governments, along with many private sector entities, did all they could to address problems being encountered. As an example, the the state purchased fuel and escorted it into Texas to help address the shortages that were prevalent at the time. Emergency personnel, along with others operating snowplows, tow trucks, and semi-trucks, worked tirelessly to address the traffic issues and reestablish supply lines. Regardless, Winter Storm Uri illustrated just how fragile the transportation and logistics systems and sectors can be due to these types of disruptions. So what can we learn from this experience in Texas in February of 2021? Well, the scale and scope of transportation and logistics problems witnessed during and after Winter Storm Uri illustrate important lessons for public and private sector organizations alike. While some recommendations may be unlikely to be implemented due to cost-benefit ratios, for instance, having additional snowplows for storms that only occur a few times a year, others can be employed by the government and large corporations and small businesses to increase resilience in the face of these serious contingencies. Several of them will be mentioned here. First, we need to anticipate winter weather. Recognize that governments and businesses in Texas are not just affected by hurricanes, tornadoes, severe thunderstorms, flooding, or extreme heat. Severe winter weather with snow, ice, and freezing temperatures is also possible and even likely throughout the state. In short, our assumptions about weather really matter. Second, we need to create plans and procedures to better deal with severe winter weather. Be sure to address policies about travel when snow and ice are present on roads and identify which workers are essential during these types of episodes. Third, stock up on needed supplies. This may include salt, sand, water, food, tire chains, fuel, anti-gel additives, generators, and other provisions to ensure operability when demand outstrips supply. Fourth, pay close attention to weather forecasts. Be sure to establish close relationships with National Weather Service personnel and local meteorologists to increase awareness of weather predictions and more quickly implement weather emergency protocols. Fifth, recognize the interdependencies of weather, transportation, and logistics. Consider how extreme weather may negatively affect traffic and your supply chain. Finally, communicate with suppliers and verify their ability to operate in times of scarcity. Remember that your ability to function may be dependent on the capability of others to supply your needs in times of distress. The major point is to increase readiness and resilience when winter storms threaten transportation and logistics. Winter Storm Uri, which occurred in February of 2021, is a good reminder of the challenges that can be experienced due to snow, ice, and cold temperatures. Extreme winter weather can occur even in states like Texas. Government organizations and private sector entities need not be at the mercy of extreme winter weather. Proactive measures can be taken to anticipate and prepare for problems associated with transportation and logistics. Thank you, and have a great day.